how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. So today students, we'll be starting with your last poem, that is Aunt Jennifer's Tiger by Andreen Rich. Okay, before starting, let me tell you something about the author. The author Andreen Rich recently expired, and she was an essayist, American poet, and also one person who believed in feminism thoroughly. So she wrote on variety of subjects like gender politics, race, language, power culture, and also on women at large. Okay, now let us start with the poetry. Now before starting, let me tell you something about the poem or the theme of the poem. Now this very poem, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, is about the harsh, depressing reality of Aunt Jennifer's existence. Okay, in contrast to the tiger that she stitches on the tapestry. Okay, now the tigers that she stitches is everything that Aunt Jennifer is not in reality. Okay, why? Because the tigers that she stitches, her art is totally robust, inhabited, mighty, powerful, just like all the men in the society. And she herself has problem even stitching those tigers. Why? Because her hands are trembling and she is weak. Okay, so she creates an alternative world of freedom wherein she pines for a world that tigers are. Okay, so she wants to be equal with men in society. Okay, so here we see that Aunt Jennifer is evidently lonely, pained, a woman plagued with anxiety. Okay, and the reason for the miserable plight is shown, her oppressive patriarchal family system wherein uncle dominates, invisible uncle dominates the scene. Okay, so she creates an alternative world of freedom, a world that she craves for, she pines for. Okay, now let us start with a poem analysis and understand each line and what it has to say. Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Okay, so it says, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a scene, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. Okay, so the tiger that she has sewn or she has stitched on a tapestry, what are they doing? They are prancing. Okay, prancing means walking in a powerful, in a mighty way. Okay, screen as in the tapestry or the cloth on which she stitches these tigers. She makes these tigers. Okay, so here too students, you can see that Andreen deliberately has made this woman stitch, or just like any other womanly job like cooking or stitching. Okay, so she is not doing any corporate job and she is not into what other men do. Okay, so she expresses her terrible plight through these tigers. Okay, so the tigers that she has made are prancing, are moving in a mighty, in a robust way, in an inhabited way on the screen. Okay, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. Okay, world of green means world of jungle. Okay, jungle is full of trees, so that's why green color. And these tigers are of bright topaz. Okay, so you can see that topaz is the color, yellow color that these tigers are shown. So here it also implies the kind of shine, the kind of mightiness that is associated with male power, with masculine power. Okay, denizens means vasi, what you say, inhabitants. Okay, jungle ke vasi, what you say. Okay, the inhabitants of jungle. So these are the tigers that she has made. Okay, she has stitched on a piece of cloth. Okay, then they do not fear the men beneath the tree. Now the tiger that she has woven, these tigers do not fear the men. Men means human beings who have come to even hunt them. Why? Because these tigers are even powerful than human beings and they can anytime prance on them, they can anytime kill them with their might and power. Right? They pace in sleek chivalric certainty and they walk. Pace here means they walk in sleek. Sleek means quiet. Chivalric means manly. And certainty means with confidence that yes, they can kill anyone anytime and they can suppress or oppress anyone and can make any person their prey, even human beings. So are the men in Aunt Jennifer's life who can oppress women anytime. Okay, mentally, emotionally, or even physically. Okay, now let us come to second paragraph. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Okay, so here we see that here Aunt Jennifer's fingers have become so weak, and she is even finding it difficult to weave the tigers on a piece of cloth, these mighty tigers on a piece of cloth. So find even the ivory needle, okay, the needle which is thin, such light in weight, she is finding even that a very tough task to do. Why? Because her hands have become weak, and we'll see the reason why her hands have become weak, and that her hands are trembling, okay, and shaking. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Okay, why? Because she in her mind thinks about the miserable things she has undergone in order to make something, okay, in order to even pursue her art of stitching. So she says the massive weight of, because her hands are burdened by the wedding band that Uncle has given her. Okay, so her delicate hands are burdened by the wedding ring offered to her. So it is not only the ring, here ring implies the kind of ordeals, the kind of struggles, the kind of oppressiveness she had undergone because of this invisible uncle, and she feels that this light wedding band is even burdensome. Okay, sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So this wedding band also rests heavily on Aunt Jennifer's delicate fingers, and this is one reason she cannot even stitch the tigers. Okay, then when Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. Okay, so then the poet talks about her future. In the first stanza, we see what Aunt Jennifer dreams about, how she wishes to be just like the tiger she is weaving on a piece of cloth. Okay, in the second stanza, the poet talks about her reality, what her plight is like. Okay, how lonely she feels, how oppressed she is. Okay, and then in third stanza here, the poet talks about her future. So the poet says, even when she'll be dead, when Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. That means one would only notice her hands, and they lie still in her coffin, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. Ringed here has double connotation. One is the wedding ring, the burden that she has faced, okay, because of the wedding she had undergone by the uncle and by the male patriarchal society in general, and also she says she was also dominated somehow by the patriarchal society, so people would only notice the ordeals or the ring and not her existence or her identity or her dead body. Okay, so she says she is still ringed, that is, she is still encircled by the struggle she had undergone throughout her life. Okay, the people when she is dead would only notice that. Okay, the tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. In contrast to her art, in contrast to the tiger she has made on panel, panel is a piece of cloth or a wooden panel what you have when you stitch or weave something. Okay, so she says the panel that the tigers that she has made on a piece of cloth, okay, would go on proud and unafraid, would not change, is the only constant thing. Okay, so they would be equally oppressive, they would be equally mighty, they'd be equally masculine, okay, and they would be equally proud and equally unafraid, unlike Aunt Jennifer whose hands are trembling. Okay, so the tigers will go on prancing, would go on proud and unafraid, okay, and would look equally masculine, proud and non-fearful. Okay, so this was the entire core and crux. Now let us look at the rhyme scheme. So first stanza is screen green AA, tree certainty BB. Okay, so the first stanza is AABB. Second stanza is wool, pull, band, hand. Okay, so that would be AA, BB again. Then third, let us see, lie by AA, made, unafraid, BB. Okay, so the rhyme scheme used is AABB. Okay, so this was it, students. I'll be sharing with you the notes and question answers in Naresa's classes. Till then, take care.